Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. And I say we, but this time I'm flying solo. And if my partner is so inclined, maybe he'll let you know next week what was up. So, getting right into it, the current challenge is Injustice 2 Superman. It's a 1 week repeat. Required characters are Harley Quinn, Solomon Grundy, and Doomsday, who are available as bronze, and silver, which is a good week because, like we've said a lot of times before, the challenge characters are a great entry point for newer players, and the more difficult it is to get a challenge character, the harder it is to encourage new blood. So Injustice 2 Superman's passive is Kryptonian Fortitude. Every time Superman tags in, he takes no damage from the first special received. Bonus 5% damage and 5% health per promotion. So the most obvious part of his passive is the shield that he gets. And unlike other tag-in passives, if you have him in the first slot, you still get the shield. What's good is that you can choose to manage his shield. So if you block a special when the shield is active, you'll take the block damage, but you keep your shield. So it's really only when it's unblocked that you take no damage and the shield gets used up. And you might want to do this if you're afraid of someone tagging in unexpectedly. Like, let's say the opponent has Luchador Bane or Arkham Knight Batgirl on the bench waiting to come in, both of which can do a lot of damage unexpectedly. And the problem now is that with Tantu Totem, if they whiff, they can often hit you again before you break out of the stun and after they've cracked open your shield. But it's a not bad strategy to be able to manage when you actually use up your shield. He's got great high stats, 1300 and 1500, among the highest for golds. And the second part of his passage that most people don't talk about, doesn't get as much attention, is the boost per promotion. So the 5% boost is not as good as the 8% that Arkham Origins Deathstroke gets, or the 8% health that Mortal Kombat X Scorpion gets, but he actually gets both. So the 5% for both damage and health per promotion is superb. I think when Injustice 2 Superman was released, he was hands down the best single character, and he probably still is. The great thing is he doesn't need any teammates to make him good. He really only needs the warm bodies that let him tag out to refresh his shield. And what's interesting too is he's got this kind of unusual balance between offensive and defensive ability, both in his passive and in his stats. Like, he's got great offensive damage stat. He's got the shield that protects him and the boost to both stats per promotion. So unlike a lot of other guys that maybe we use as strictly offensive or defensive, it doesn't really hurt to try to make them both like a well-rounded card. I mean, he was good enough that we spent a few weeks doing a weekly run with him that we'd originally link is in the description, that we were going to do until he actually lost a fight, but fewer and fewer people were watching, so we kind of just let that peter out. And we also used him in a video also in the playlist in one of the best teams at the time to handle the hack teams. And back then, the interesting hack teams were when they had the unreleased Ares, but the boss Ares, where even though it was multiplayer and there's usually no timer, this Ares came with a timer so that if you didn't beat him in the first, couple minutes, you would just automatically lose a fight, whether you were ahead or not. This week's multiplayer reward is Master's Death Cart, and Master's Death Cart is available for the top 5% finishers. The abilities are after tagging, enemy blocking stops when maxed out, 20% less damage for 6 seconds. There's 2 area effects. There's one of 15% damage from the special attacks, and the other is 35% damage from the combo ender. And the evolved ability is, when maxed out, is 100% chance to deal 20% unblockable damage on tag-in. This is an excellent 4.5-star legendary gear. And if you just look at the different abilities, decreased blocking, it's okay. I don't really notice it because the unblockable tagging damage lets you get unblocked hits. Because even when they're blocking when you tag in, if you wait for the right moment, they drop their block before they can hit you. They drop their block at a time where there's sort of that window of opportunity where you can hit them. The only exception to that is if they have bars of power, and sometimes their special prioritizes, which means that vulnerability window is really, really small. But most of the time you're actually really good. The area effect on specials isn't as good as other splash damage area effect gears. So the Fourth World Mace or League of Assassins Knives are better because it happens all at once. The area effect from Master's Death card, it sort of does it over time, like damage over time. So the problem with that is if you knock someone out and the teammate tags in, they stop taking splash damage immediately. The combo ender part, I've never been a huge fan of the combo ender stuff, only because it doesn't trigger enough or consistently enough to be something to build a strategy around, and it's not fast enough. But the best is the hidden part of this pass, or the ability, which is that the unblocked damage is a bunch of hits that counts towards power generation. So when maxed out, and unless there's a power dampening team on the other side, you're going to generate 1 full bar of power just from tagging in. Now, that's great in multiplayer because you generate more power by hitting, but in offline play, that's actually worse because your opponent generates more power by getting hit. So what you do is you're giving them a bar of power and you're only getting less than half a bar maybe. But overall, great piece of gear, really useful in multiplayer. In the store, there is Injustice 2 Aquaman pack, $12.99. It's close to being worth it, still not worth it. Just remember that you only get 1 copy. It does not unlock in your store, and maybe this will be a clue for next week's challenge, the same way Superman was a clue for this week's challenge. There's the Alien Invasion pack for $26.99. It's got Lobo, not the good one. It's got Martian Manhunter, also not the good one, and Darkseid, also not the good one. It's funny, there's actually versions of all these characters that are better. So there's Bounty Hunter Lobo that's better, there's Blackest Night Martian Manhunter that's better, and Apocalypse Darkseid. And it's probably, I mean, each week we're getting beaten in the head that we're not going to be getting any more targeted team packs for power credits anymore, and they're all coming out for cash. And yeah, so no news there. Survivor is the League of Assassins gear, and it'll be good until the 7th of August 2019. People are still complaining that sometimes they're getting the Suicide Squad companion gears, and the solution to that is to restart the game and make sure you have a good internet connection when you start, because the most common reason why you may be getting Suicide Squad gears when you're not supposed to is because the game is starting, and when it's looking to see what Survivor gears are supposed to be there, it can't reach the server. So the default of the game is to give you Suicide Squad companion gears. Also, Phantom Zone is back for 2 weeks, and Fight 62 is still broken. Moving on to the current glitches, remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. Also in the description, we are Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android. Spoiler alert, nothing has changed this week, and if you're not actually interested in listening to this video every week, we do maintain the playlist, and if anything, we actually maintain the playlist more frequently, not more frequently, more quickly than we do this video, because if there's a glitch that needs to be added or removed from the list, we do that even before the Thursday recap video. Because we're Android, if you're on iOS, we cannot confirm whether these things work for you. So if you are on iOS and you see a comment from another user asking for help, please consider helping out. So as usual, we start with the significant not working glitches, and that's because there's glitches that people want that aren't working, that have been working before but aren't around anymore. The most important one is that there's no current working glitch for credits. We go into it in a lot more detail in our previous glorified Q&A, which we call our P and Q and C and A and T video, season 6 episode 9, also linked in the I and in the description. It's just worth repeating that the most important point is that we cannot endorse a glitch that requires being logged into one account simultaneously with two devices because of the risk of having your account suspended. So it's not, I mean, technically it's not that there's no working glitch for credits, but more just that there isn't one that we're willing to endorse and teach. There's also no working glitch for the early multiplayer season rewards. There is also no glitch to get through the Phantom Zone quickly. However, in the working glitches, there is a glitch to let you play the Phantom Zone repeatedly, and it is sort of the cousin, or almost really the same thing as the glitch that lets you reset the challenge. So both are still working. The challenge reset has been confirmed on the current Injustice 2 Superman challenge. And the breakthrough glitch to let you play it repeatedly is still working. If it's not working for you, we've cut and pasted a comment from a viewer who has a potential solution. We can't really confirm whether it works or not just because we've never had the problem to even be able to test it. Actually, I should point out that if you're going to be using the glitch to reset the challenge or to reset the Phantom Zone, just remember you will also be resetting the progress in the other thing. And if you're going to be doing it, just make sure you're ready to lose the progress in the other thing. So if you're challenge resetting, you're going to lose your Phantom Zone progress. If you're Phantom Zone resetting, you're going to lose your challenge progress. And the airplane mode / refund glitch is still working, good for both packs with random drops, also known as loot boxes, and last laugh tickets. And it only works, as it may be obvious, when you do not require an internet connection, because that's actually one of the steps to disconnect from the internet. So we cannot use it on Android for getting a different Phantom Zone final reward when the final crystal is finished. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always return your countdown clock back to normal before you finish. Free energy without having to watch the video still works as long as the button's ungrayed. One iOS user, Dragons952, has a potential solution for iOS users that we can't test, but we've cut and pasted it into the description so that you can try it out if you are so inclined. Okay, and I should mention, because it's come up again, that you can take advantage of the difference in price between the 200 nth metal pack and the sellback price of an extra metal character, where you get 240 nth metal back, and if you just keep on trying to airplane mode reset it so that you just always get a metal character, you could get 40 Valorium alloy each time. It's not efficient. Now that you can reset the Phantom Zone, you're better off resetting the Phantom Zone and just playing it over and over, because with the Phantom Zone at least, you not only get nth metal, you also get Valorium alloy, which is important for making your metal characters not sitting ducks, because without improving their passive or their specials, they're actually kind of weak. And that brings us to the last part, which is the our glitch in limbo. So it's not working, but it's also not working, because the promotion glitch, which used to let you promote characters that are still locked, had specific requirements. Those requirements conditions have not been there since update 2.14, so it has not been testable, but it has also never failed us when the conditions are right. So when it finally fails us for the first time, we will remove it from the playlist of current glitches. And that's it. So finally, we get to thank our patrons on Patreon who have supported us and make a lot of these videos possible. A big thank you to Console Peasant, who's supporting us at the top tier Last Word. John REM is supporting us at the Your Message Here tier. Sean Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Mall, and Michael DeVries, who are supporting us on the credited level. And Eddie G, Chris Wolf, and Laszlo Georgiadis at the gratitude level. And Laszlo Georgiadis is going to be leaving us after this month, but we've been grateful for his support for as long as he's been here. And thank you all for watching or listening to this, and we will see you next time. Komoda.